This isn't the story you've been told. You know the ending, a tragic headline and a lonely star. But years before the world called her fragile, Marilyn Monroe had already started fighting back. She didn't just play a role. She built a mask the whole world fell in love with, the perfect blonde who laughed at every joke and never fought back. Until one day, she refused to wear it. She walked away from the biggest studio in the world. She stopped showing up when they treated her like she didn't matter. She risked her entire career just to be taken seriously. The world saw a broken star. She was stronger than they knew. By the early 1950s, Marilyn was everywhere. Her movies were hits. Her posters were on barracks walls and bedroom doors. The studio had finally created its perfect fantasy, a woman the whole world desired and almost nobody took seriously. They gave her the same role again and again, the dizzy blonde, the joke, the girl in the tight dress whose purpose was to be looked at, not listened to. Every time the scene ended and the cameras stopped rolling, a part of Marilyn felt more distant. The world was falling in love with Marilyn Monroe, and Marilyn had no idea if anyone would ever love Norma Jeane. Here's why this matters for the mystery everyone remembers at the end of her life. You can't understand how someone breaks until you understand how hard they fought not to. And in 1954, at the height of her fame, Marilyn did something almost no one in her position dared to do. She stopped obeying. Fox expected her to say yes to everything. More musicals, more comedies, more dumb blonde scripts. She was their most valuable star, the one they depended on. For years, she had been grateful for any attention at all. Now she could finally see the price of it. She began pushing back, questioning lines, costumes, and scenes that didn't feel real to her. The studio dismissed it as a phase, the pretty girl becoming difficult. But this wasn't rebellion for attention. It was a woman realizing that if she didn't fight for herself, no one else would. Then came the moment that made it undeniable. Another shallow script landed on her desk, and this time she didn't play along. She walked away from the biggest studio in the world, turning her back on the system that had made her famous. People called it career suicide. They wondered who she thought she was. To them, she was only an actress, a face, a symbol. But to Marilyn, it was the first real decision she had ever made for herself. She knew that if she kept saying yes to roles that hurt her inside, no amount of fame would ever make her feel whole. So she left Hollywood behind and went to New York to rediscover who she really was. She joined acting classes where people cared about her talent, not her image. She spent time with writers, photographers, and thinkers who saw her mind, not just her appearance. And in small apartments and late-night conversations, she began planning something bold. Her own production company, her own stories, her own choices. This is the part people rarely mention when they talk about the end of her life. To understand what happened to her later, you first have to see the moment she stopped living as the image everyone expected and started becoming herself. And that's the real story. This was never just a tragedy or a mystery. It was a rebellion. The world gave Marilyn a mask and called it a dream. But the moment she stopped living for that image, she started becoming herself. Her life leaves us with a quiet question. What version of yourself are you still playing just because it's safer, easier, and expected? You may not have cameras or studio lights, but you do have the choice she fought for. The right to decide who you become next. And maybe that's where your story begins to change. If you're not following the Imaginarium, you'll probably never see us again. And if you are growing every day.